Welcome to this lesson. In this very lesson, we are going to be studying trend lines. Okay, so a trend line is like a guide rail that shows which direction the price is moving, either is moving up, down, or sideways. Okay, so that is what trend line helps us to understand. It shows us if the market is going to the upside or is going to the downside, or if it's ranging. Okay, so it shows us the trend, the direction of the market. Secondly, you draw the trend line on the chart by connecting the lows for an uptrend or highs for a downtrend. It helps traders see the overall direction of the market. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of trend line. So we are going to go to the chart right now to fully identify trend line and put everything into practicals to see it, how it connects the dots, and how you can identify trend line and how you can use the trend line. Okay, so we are going to be identifying trend lines right now. This is a live chart. Okay, this is an Ethereum chart and this is 1 hour chart. Okay, you're already familiar with the chart right now, I believe, and it's very easy to understand what is going on this chart. Okay, so now let's identify trend line. Okay, so first I will be putting this on. Good. Okay, yeah, I just put this chart on a full screen. So right now we are going to be identifying trend line. So to identify trend line, remember, like we did with support and resistance, you zoom out to have a clear view. Okay, so we can have a clear view. So remember that trend lines, okay, you need to connect the lows when you are drawing a trend line for an uptrend. And how do you see the lows? And what are lows? What are lower lows or what are higher lows? Okay, so I will explain that now. So now this is a low. A low is a point where the market is like the down part where it drops down. Okay, so this is a low and this is equally a low. Okay, this is equally another low. Now, what is a higher low? This is a low, but this is equally a low. You can see that this low is higher than this, so this is considered as a higher low. Okay, so when the market is in an uptrend, when the market is going up, when the market is going up, we say that it's creating higher lows. Okay, so which means at the down part of it, it keeps creating higher lows. Okay, if you look at all these prices, these levels are higher than here. It has not gone below this level. Okay, you can see where I marked. Then higher highs, you can see the price was high here, but it came higher here. It equally became higher here. So these are higher highs. This is high, higher, higher. So this is higher highs. So that already shows that this current chart is trending, okay, from this point. Do you get? Now, if you want to see lower lows, okay, now we can look at lower lows from here. This is low, okay, we can see this low here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we can see this low. I hope you are seeing. Then this is another low. Okay, this is another low. This is another low. So we can, this is low, but this low is low. This low is lower than this low. This low is lower than this low. So that means that it's creating lower low. So and when a chart is printing lower low, it means that the chart, the current movement, the trend simply means that is on a downtrend. Okay, and when it creates higher lows, okay, this is high, this is another high, but it's still low than the previous. So this is higher low. Okay, so it's creating higher low and lower low. That is a downtrend. But when it's creating a higher high, okay, this is a higher high, it means that it's trending. Okay, the market is trending. Okay, so let's delete all this drawing and identify our trend line. Good. So now let's move on. To identify trend line, all you need to do is to get the trend line tool. Okay, this is trend line. Okay, remember what I said. If we go back to the 2 section. Okay, we click here, we can see trend line. You can see trend line. I just clicked on it. Okay, so for an uptrend, you connect the what? Lower highs. Okay, you connect it and make sure, remember what I told you, that your touches should be 2 to 3. Okay, your touches should be 2 to 3. You can see, and make sure that is the week. In trend line, make sure that is the week you are getting. Make sure you are not getting the candle body, because the week is very, very important in trend line. I'm zooming in so that you can see my line. You can see it tapped it here and tapped it here. So this is a trend line. Okay, this is the way trend line looks like. Okay, so looking at it, you can see that it's going up. Okay, it indicates the market is going up. Okay, so that is a trend line. So now, understanding this trend line is easy. You can see that if it gets, it's the price of this coin, Ethereum, is respecting this trend line. Anytime it gets here, it tends to go up for 1 hour time frame. Okay, so it's respecting it in a 1 hour time frame. Now, we can equally catch this area, okay, in this our trend line. Okay, we can catch this area. Pay attention the way I'm drawing this so that you're not gonna make mistake. Okay, pay close attention the way I'm drawing this. Okay, okay, so we pick our trend line here, getting how many touches? 2 touches, so it makes it valid. In some cases, if you can get more touches, better, but make sure that your line is in order and clean. So now, this is a channel. Very, very funny. Okay, this is a channel. Within these trend lines is a channel. Okay, within this trend line is a channel. Remember support and resistance we studied. Fine. This trend line now is acting as a support, but as a trending support. You know, during the support and resistance class, I told you to pay attention to support and resistance. Now, this is a support, okay, but a trend support. It's not your normal support where the price is constant. No, in this angle, the price is ranging, is going up. So you can see, now see how powerful the trend line is. Right here, it tapped the trend line. Here, it came very close to the trend line, okay? Very, very close to the trend line. And it went up. And you can see, at each time it comes. Now, look at here. At the price here, Ethereum was $2,326 when it started obeying this trend line. But right here, where it came close to the trend line, it was around, sorry about it. Right here, the price was around 2,328. Okay, right here, when it came close, the price was around 2,352. You can see the price is higher than the previous. Now look at here again, where it attempted this trend line, where it came close to this trend line. The price here is around 2,440, which means as is obeying the trend line, the price are even increasing. Do you understand? The price is even increasing. So this is different from your horizontal support and resistance. Now, you can see that right here, where it came here again, the price was around, right here, the price was around 2,457. Still higher, okay? Sorry, you know, each time my chart does this way, is reloading, right? So you can see the same thing here. It started obeying this this trend line here, which serves as resistance. But look at it. At each time, the price was higher. All right? And you can see that following this trend line, we can say that right now is within the range, is approaching this trend line. And you can see that it started declining. The price started delaying again. So that is how powerful trend line is. So the areas this trend line cover is what we call a channel. Okay, this is channel. Okay, this is trend line channel, and it's not only trend line that has channel. Support and resistance equally has their own channel. Do you understand? So that is how trend line functions. So let's use BTC for instance. Okay, and let me say this: for future traders or for spot traders, you can use this whole thing. Okay, you can use this trend line. You can actually enter the market anytime it comes close to this trend line. All right. So we are still learning. We are not yet diving into how to pick your trades. Okay, that will come later. So now let's go to 4 hours so that you see the difference. Because each time frame you are is different. Okay, so you can see that 4 hours, you can see how our trend line looks like in 4 hours. You can see how our trend line looks like in 4 hours. Good. Now look at another thing we saw while we are in 4 hours. Okay, you can see that if we check here, you can see the line I just put. There was a downtrend before this time here. You can see there was a downtrend from this one I drew now. So the 4 hours is showing us that there was a downtrend. Can you see that? There was a downtrend. The market, the price, this coin was respecting this downtrend after reaching 2,700, and since then it has been drawing down. It has been obeying this trend line since then. So let's say it got to 2,700 and you took this trend line. It means all this time Ethereum came close to here. You should have maybe shorted it if you are trading futures. And here again, it came very close to the trend line, but see, it dropped below again, all the way here. So that is what you can understand from the trend line. You can see for some time the market was going down. It was on a downtrend, but all of a sudden it broke the trend line around here and started respecting the trend line again. Okay, so let me zoom in so that you understand. Okay, forget about the lines. I'm trying to use it and teach you. So, but I can delete this one. Okay, let me leave it. Now, you know, this very line now, this trend line that crossed like this now, is the one we took from the 4 hours. So you can see that from here, it broke it. And after breaking it, from this very candle, Ethereum broke this trend line. And since then, it has been trending. You can see. So if you had this trend line, the moment it broke this trend line, all you needed to wait is for a clear sign that this trend line is holding. And when it came back again, that was the sign that is holding, because it rejected again and started going up. So if you had taken a trade here, you could have been in profit by now, just by obeying this trend line. So now another thing you need to understand is that a higher time frame gives you a better view of what must have been happening in the market. Okay, so this is 4 hours. And 4 hours is showing us a more clear information of what was happening earlier than 1 hour. Okay, so don't get confused, but just understand, follow me. Over time, you will understand the difference within this time frame and the one you will use, depending on the kind of trading you are going to be doing. But you can see that with 4 hours, we can see that the market was trending down, and it was recent that it started trending up. So that is how trend line functions. Okay, congratulations for learning about trend line, and remember to understand your trend line and practice. Okay, so see you in the next lesson.